Here we go. This next one is from Jared Aviette. Yes. My response. The subject is my response and question on Paul Bearer, Percy Pringle. Hi again, K100 fam. Hope everyone is doing well. I'd like to get the crew's thoughts on one of my favorite managers of all time and an underrated promo guy, Percy Pringle III, a.k.a. Paul Bearer. The WWE Network documentary of his life and career was quite emotional. He had a fascinating life, which was cut way too short. I know Disco and Conan spent a brief time with him in TNA in 2003. Any funny stories of William Moody? And did you both have to work with him in TNA much or in the Indies?
He wasn't there long.
Thank you so much as always. All the best, Jared. I barely interact with Paul Bearer, but that was it in TNA, and it was shake hands. How you doing? It was the only time I'd ever met him, so I can't even. I got nothing to add here at all.
Yeah, we kind of had a little bit of a friendship because we were hired the same day in WWE. We were in the same limo and waited, to talk to Vince, and that's when I did the Max Moon thing. And I remember that. For whatever reason, I don't know if he didn't have time or whatever, but he didn't see Paul Bearer, but they did hire him. And then when we were back on the limo, I remember it was around Christmas time, because he was like, "Oh, my wife's going to be very happy, this is a great Christmas gift, And so when we would see each other, we always had like a little friendship because we got hired the same day.
Next one's from Joe I Am. Subject, one giant leap for mankind. Peace and blessings, guys. Thanks for taking my questions and for keeping us entertained with all of your stories and insight. In what was one of the greatest matches of all time and certainly the defining moment of the Attitude Era, Mankind was thrown off the roof of Hell in a Cell inside the Civic Arena by The Undertaker, only to be followed up by him getting chokeslammed through the roof of the structure and crashing onto the canvas. What was the reaction backstage to this spot in WCW? Was there ever any talk amongst the boys about recreating a similar stunt in a match? Would love to get your insight and opinion on the match itself and what it meant for the Monday Night Wars, back when the talent looked like grown adult athletes that weren't using 15 super kicks a match. Thanks again for your time, and go Lakers. Joe I Am from LA. I'll tell you exactly what the thing was. We were all sitting there eating, and we were talking about it, and Hogan interrupted and said, "Yeah, brother, but what do you get paid to do that?"
Yeah.
I was like, I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
That was like the day after, Hogan was like, "What do you what was the pay? What was the payout, brother?" Bro. Then seriously, that's the question Hulk Hogan asks right there after Mankind does this resonates 22 years later, because you see a bunch of guys doing crazy stuff and Hulk Hogan is asking legitimate, even though Mankind did that, the bumps that he took, even though he made $150,000, he could have lost future income of like $2, $3, $4 million.
Yeah,
or more.
You also
what I'm saying? So it's like it's definitely a risk reward that if you think it's like, hey, dude, am I willing to try this? Because what's the chance that happens? What percentage of chance do you have? Like, it's all risk assessment. Is it do you have a 99% chance of success at $150,000? But what's a one? Would you risk? Would you in a chance to make millions? If you have 1% chance of losing everything, would you take that chance? And then I think a lot, and nobody even thinks about that in those terms, and nobody even thinks that like that these days when you're only making $50 or $100 a shot sometimes, if that.
Right. But you also got to remember that might have helped him get more money in the future. Might have helped him get a championship. It helped him become the legend that he is, and it'll be one of the most iconic things we've ever seen in our industry. Because, bro, that just shows the love and that he had for this sport, where most guys wouldn't have. No way I would have done that ever.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But he we look at his career post that is because he got out of that match alive.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but after that, he also did. But he also did entertaining like Mr. Sacco. I mean, that was just part of his body of work, and much respect to him. And not only that, since every time before I left ECW to WCW, I was going to do a feud with Cactus Jack, and I love that guy to death, bro.
I'm aware of that. Okay, but what I'm saying is that we have to have honest conversations here.
We are having one. Is a risk reward for him? It was for a lot of people. You and me, it wasn't.
Okay, but my question is that you talk about hey, he risked that and he ended up making millions of dollars.
Right.
Yeah.
So now think about energizing. And he was one guy that was trying that stuff.
Right.
All right. So just risk reward. If you're telling, hey, let's have a whole bunch of guys try this now to think like you're rolling the dice. It's like that's why I think it's it wasn't his fault at the time.
Right.
Because in his mind,
he didn't know he was going to start. He was going to activate all this. Right.
It's not. You're not thinking about that.
But that's a continuing problem we have in wrestling, Disco. That everybody sees what gets over, and then everybody copies it. Oh, super kick is over. Canadian Destroyer is over. Jumping off a flaming is over. Going through a roof is over. So they just copy, and after a while, it's all a blur because nobody's original. He was the first guy to do it. That's why. You know what I'm saying? It was so spectacular.
Yeah. Well, that's what people don't realize is like when when like somebody like paints like something, everything, and like it just like you see the style and everything. It's like okay, like he'll paint in the same style and everything, but like you were the first one to see that first style. So it's like that's where it resonates, and everything else is like a copy. So it's like I don't know.